recently on the Wayspotters podcast, you heard my dad say...
Do you really think I care what people say about me? Dude, I've got a t-shirt with my face on it. Hello, agents, trainers, keepers, pilots, eighth wallers, and our beloved explorers and wayfinders. Welcome to episode number 131 of the Wayspotters podcast. Here at Wayspotters, we want to do everything we can to help you become a better wayfinder. As we've always said, we want to educate, entertain, and excite. Wayspotters is brought to you by the good people at the Pokemon Professor Network. And today is Saturday, Chris, June 20th, 2024. I'm Blame Jamal, and I'm here with Chris. But hey, Chris, before you say anything, we have a special guest that if you're watching the YouTube version of this, you see who it is. But if you're on the audio version, well, you've probably seen the title. But Chris, how are you?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. Apparently, we're back to work normal on Monday, so I'm excited to not be driving around like a crazy person at work. So other than that, it's been a good weekend.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah.
How are you?
You know, my week has been super crazy, but a lot of things going on, but good. I managed to get out and nominate a whole bunch of stuff. I managed to play a whole lot of Ingress. Apparently, there's something going on in Ingress that I've been doing that I don't really know about, and playing a fair amount of Pokemon Go. And I hope everybody out there is having a great week and looking forward to this show. Been looking forward to the show for a while. We have a very, very, very special guest. And by the time you see this and hear this episode, you've probably heard the trailer. So as soon as we're done recording this, we're going to drop the trailer. But I'll go ahead and play it again for the people here.
Breaking news.
Hey, Wayspotters, you know him.
Want to learn how to nominate some Pokestops and gyms so you can get your area popping off with Pokemon spawns? Well, let's talk about that.
You love him.
Have you nominated something and it's been 3 weeks, 1 month, 8 months, 12 months since you've heard back and found out if that nomination is going to become a Pokestop or not?
He's one of the only YouTubers who actually talks about Niantic Wayfarer.
Well, in this video, I'm going to help you guys out to speed up your Pokestop nominations, how to make them go through in a single day. Let's talk about it.
Coming soon to the Wayspotters podcast, it's the one, the only, Daxi.
With that all being said, guys, I hope that outlined a lot of what is good, what is bad, what is gray area on for you guys to nominate. So if you are a new level 38 or you're just looking for new things to nominate in your area, hopefully this video helps you guys out.
The Wayspotters podcast is brought to you
by the Pokemon Professor Network.
I had way too much fun, Chris, making that. I found that beat looper. And I've been like it channeling my inner like rap producer and putting together beats. So I had too much fun making that. So Chris, before we get into our special guest, let's go ahead and go over the news.
And now, the latest Niantic news from the Wayspotters podcast, presented by the Pokemon Professor Network.
Just one thing this week. Tibbs said that they ran the first step of the reimbursements for the ratings bug, and impacted users should see this indicated on their Pogo medal sometime early next week. I think it was interesting that he mentioned Pogo medal and not the Ingress medal. I don't know if he just doesn't know that there's an Ingress one or if he forgot. Somebody asked him, I'm like,
they asked him.
Ingress too? So, we'll see. He hasn't responded to that yet. It was last night that he posted it. So, and it's the weekend. So
awesome. All right. Well, you guys have all been waiting for this for a while. So let's bring in our special guest. He is best known for his very popular YouTube channel with over 559,000 plus subscribers.
His channel has amassed over 237 million views since its debut in October of 2020.
He will take you along on his Pokemon Go adventure while he catches shinies and 100% IV Pokemon.
He fancies himself a creator that is interested in Niantic Wayfarer.
He's made over 9 videos about Wayfarer, amassing over 1 million views on them.
Wayspotters, please help me welcome to the podcast, Daxi.
Daxi, hello, man.
Yeah,
how are you?
we're here. I'm doing good. It's funny, you guys like dropping all those stats about me. Anytime I come on a podcast, like it's kind of like a shock situation because I never actually like go. I'm not like, oh my god, how many views total do I have in my lifetime? So it's always funny to listen and find out, how crazy it's been because like Damn, 1 million views on Wayfarer videos. I didn't even know I had that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's really
I
cool.
did some math, man. I did some math. I was crunching
Yeah.
numbers and I was adding
You
things
did.
up, and I'm like,
did. And it's funny.
I'm
You're
like,
playing
Chris, Chris and I will take like half of that.
No, it's funny you were playing the intro too, and like it's honestly, I don't know if it's just like I don't know if you guys get this too, listening back to your podcast, but like just listening to your voice and listen to my voice in those old Wayfarer videos, I almost sound like a child. I don't know if my voice has gone like deeper or I still sound like that, but it's like it hurts a little to listen. I don't know. I think some people get that, but like when they listen back to your voice in video, sometimes it's just kind of hard. So yeah, that's why I guess I don't really look back at my videos because I don't want to hear my voice.
No, I'm the same way. I remember when Chris came on in season 2, I remember we listened to an old episode in season 1, and I'm like, oh my God, that sounded awful. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I'm not looking in the right place, and I'm not reading the notes the right way. And it's like, the more you do this, the better you get. And, you know, we were talking prior to you, to the show starting, and I was telling you and Chris how I've binged Poké Daxi videos for the last like 6 days. Like I've been doing nothing but watching Poké Daxi videos, and I close my eyes and I hear your voice. So now I'm seeing you. It's kind of surreal. I'm like telling my wife, like last night I had a dream about one of your videos. So I was like, oh
my God,
did he really do a video on that? Or did I just put that together in my head?
That's awesome.
So but man, it was really good catching up with you in New York, and I'm glad you're feeling better. You know, you look like you were, you know, here's the thing that I love about you, Daxi. You obviously were not feeling well, and your mom was there kind of propping you up, but you stood in line on that Saturday in the heat, and you shook everybody's hand, and you took a picture with everybody. And
well, I did props. I didn't want to get people sick, so I was trying to hit the props.
Right.
But yeah, no, it was quite a weekend. Honestly, New York was insane. Again, unfortunately, I got sick. The worst part of it all too was we got there on Thursday because we drove down. Friday morning, I feel sick, and then Sunday night is when I start to feel better. So literally, like, it was almost like the Poké God saying, "Nah, you've done enough. Go Fest. You did Madrid. You did Japan. Like, you're not playing this one. You're done. You're cut off." But yeah, New York was really fun. Honestly, I think if the weather wasn't as bad, I wouldn't have felt as bad. I think like anytime anyone is sick, you'll always feel worse if it's humid and 30 degrees, whatever. But no, it was amazing to go out there, especially just meet everybody. And especially like just a thanks to anyone who we did see in New York, like waiting in that line. You guys as well. It was like boiling hot and you guys were standing there. And Niantic, they don't provide like a shade, which is kind of a little bit annoying, I find, for the people who are waiting in line, because, you know, it's like standing there in the sun is brutal.
Right. Well, Dax, let's go ahead and jump into this right now. We have some questions we want to ask you. We want to kind of talk to you about your content, about what your thoughts on Wayfarer are, but we're going to go ahead and jump into this right now.
Hey, this is Sarah Amanda. Get ready for topic number 1.
All right, so topic number 1. So this is about you, my man. So you've been doing content creation. You've been doing this thing for a while. So what we want to know is kind of what got you started and where you get your motivation from.
Yeah, for sure. So funny enough, like it all started, and I don't know if this is a thing a lot of people do, but like it didn't start with Poké Daxi. My first YouTube channel was in 2017. It was a very travel vlog, camera, video, cinematic. I don't even know how to describe what my first YouTube channel was. If people want to search it up, you can find the old videos. Dax Brule is the title, but maybe don't search it up. You're gonna have dreams about it if you watch too many of them, you know, like Jamal. Anyway, yeah, 2017. So I was pretty much making like guides on how to, you know, take better photos, shoot better videos, composition, how to get the best sounding mic quality, blah, blah, blah. And I did that for a while. So that was from 2017 to 2019. Now, I always found myself like, there's always this saying of like, fake it till you make it. And it was definitely a fake it till I make it kind of situation because I did not know what I was talking about. I was making these tutorials but you know, I had nothing to back it up. I had no, you know, I wasn't even making money off of my, you know, photo and video skills. I was mainly doing freelance stuff. Like I was shooting, you know, corporate work and different events and stuff. But anyway, did that for about 2 years, which was pretty cool. And I was working at McDonald's at the same time while I was doing that. So obviously the goal was always to become a YouTuber. And that was pretty much the motivation, like you asked. Like the motivation was just the dream of being a YouTuber, because that's every child's dream. And then I went on a big trip in 2019, a big travel, a 3-month trip in Europe, backpacking and stuff, which was absolutely an insane trip. Quit my job at McDonald's before I did that. And it was kind of like a weird moment in my life where I was a little bit like confused because like I was on the trip, but then after I got back from the trip, I had no job. I had like a camera. I had like this YouTube channel with like, you know, 500,000 subscribers, or no, not 500,000, 500 subscribers. If I had 500,000 subscribers at that time, we'd be in a different spot. And yeah, so I was kind of confused. So I kind of just hopped back into the YouTube thing and tried to grind it out until everything obviously came to a halt during COVID. I don't know if you've heard, but I did end up getting diagnosed with cancer in 2020 in January. So pretty much got like big stop sign right in my face saying chill. So I had to undergo 8 months of chemotherapy, which was obviously tough, but we made it through, and I believe everything happens for a reason. So it did make me stronger. But yeah, I pretty much just stopped doing everything for 8 months because, when you're doing chemo, you can't really do anything else. Anyway, about 2020. So this was like 2019, 2020-ish. But then right while COVID was happening and I was going through chemo, I picked back up Pokemon Go. I think a lot of people did as well in COVID. We did see a huge spike in player base just because, there really wasn't much to do, and people were pretty much looking for any reason to get outside. So I'm part of, I call it the baby boomers, the Pogo baby boomers, because everybody hopped back on the game in 2020. So hopped back on it, started playing it, and I was playing it like every day because, again, I was going through chemotherapy. I had nothing really else I could do. I was pretty much just watching YouTube videos at night of, all the YouTubers, Zoe, Billy, blah, blah, blah. To try to get better and learn, and going on websites. And then during the day, I would just kind of walk around and play Pokemon Go. And that was like 6 months, 8 months straight. Like people ask me how I got so good at Pokemon Go, or like how I know so much. And it's because I pretty much played it it became like the only thing in my life for 6 months straight. So I gained all this insane knowledge. And then like slowly as I continued watching these YouTubers and stuff, and I thought to myself, I have this knowledge. I play this game almost every single day. I have the YouTube skills because I have been doing YouTube for the past 3 years, although not successful. Why not try to combine them? So that's pretty much how the channel started. I started in October of 2020, took my knowledge I had just gained for Pokemon Go, took the skills I had gained over the years, combined them. And actually for a while, like for the first 6 months, I was actually running my old channel and my new channel at the same time, which was really, really exhausting. And, because like it was almost like I was like, this is like this fun Pokemon Go thing. I don't know if it'll really go anywhere. This is the thing I think this original channel is the one that's really going to pop off. But then about 6 months, I had to make a decision and be like, well, the Pokemon Go one is the one that's actually doing well, and I had to cut out the other channel so I could focus my energy. But yeah, anyway, that's where it all came from, and the motivation was just the passion for the game. After that, like once the channel started, I was just so interested in Pokemon Go. There was so much happening, especially during COVID. It was such an expanding game because so many people were playing it. Remote raids were getting introduced, so much different features getting introduced, and there was just so much interest for the game. And I was just so, I don't like to use the word addicted, but I definitely was addicted to Pokemon Go.
Addicted is a good word. I think Chris and I are both addicted, so I would tend to agree with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I got so into it, and yeah, that's pretty much where it all came from. Like just. I was like, at that point, the channel was just having so much success, and it was about a video game I loved. Like, there was no reason for me to have no motivation because it was like that was the dream at that point. I had the dream, and granted, we can talk about this later. Like over time, the motivation has dropped, and I think naturally, with anything in life, I find that change is always necessary, or you can only do something for so long before it becomes mundane and stale. And there has obviously like. If I compare my passion for Pokemon Go today to 4 years ago, you can't really compare that. But it's still there, and I still love the game, and I still love the community. I think is now what keeps me motivated. It's just the people who watch the videos, people who comment, going to the events, meeting the faces, and the I guess relationships you make along the way. So that's kind of how it's changed over the years. But it's still insane. It's an insane honor to have this channel, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. So that kind of leads me into one of my questions. This year was your first year as a notable trainer at GoFest. How was that experience for you? You did all 3 of them, right? Yeah,
so we did all 3. We got chosen for the notable trainer for the New York one. Now, it's funny because so like the notable trainer thing for me, like the way I look at it is it just makes it easier for me to meet my community. I have every single year I've gone to GoFest. Granted, it's only been the last 2 years, but even when I go to other events, the City Safari, blah, blah, I did that one in Barcelona. We went to LA Sinnoh Tour. Anytime there's like a Pokemon Go event where there's a lot of Pokemon Go players, I always try my best to put on at least one meetup, whether it be a notable trainer meetup organized by Niantic or personally. So I have been doing these meetups already on my own for a while. But I think the issue with those kind of meetups is there's just sometimes it's hard like there's different YouTubers I think have it down to a T. Like Brandon Tan has meetups down to a T. Like he knows exactly how to advertise them and all that stuff. But it was kind of a learning experience for me to kind of like learn how to, I guess, let the most amount of people know where I'll be, where you can meet me, and where we can kind of interact, grab a photo, blah, blah, blah. But I think being a notable trainer is cool, especially being recognized by Niantic is really nice after all these years. But for me, I just more look at it as like a more efficient way to do a meetup because there's just way much more advertising. It's more obvious, you know, it's on the Niantic socials. People can see, hey, if you want to meet Poké Daxi this time, here, it's going to be, there's more eyes on it versus me making a post on my channel saying, hey, I'll be here at this time. Also, when people are at GoFest, there's signs, right? There's a notable trainer tent. There's a sign, Poké Daxi. There's a line. People can see it versus, you know, like the year before when I was at New York GoFest, I had a meetup, but it was like down by the river, kind of a little bit farther out in the corner, not to like bother anyone and stuff like that. And there's no sign pointing, you know, you can meet Poké Daxi there. So it's honestly just, I'm very grateful for it because it just allows, you know, anyone who wants to meet me, I want to meet them. So I want it to be as simple, you know, the least amount of friction. And that was just the best part of a notable trainer, is just like kind of just making it easier for people to find me is really the thing. And also obviously being recognized by Niantic is pretty cool after all these years.
That is really cool.
Yeah, sure.
That's very cool. So one of the things about the notable trainer is I like we were talking earlier, I really admire you. You shook every hand or give a fist bump to every person who wanted it. And, you know, Chris and I were walking around in the park and we got recognized by like 5 or 6 people. And like, I was like, I couldn't have walked through a door because my head wouldn't have fit. Somebody's like, hey, you're Blame Small. And I'm like, yeah, I got my face on my shirt. And, you know, and you're like, oh, you're Chris. And last year, Chris had the same thing. He was walking down by the Nintendo store and people recognized him. So I can't imagine what it's like to be you, right? You've got 500,000 viewers. You've got 200 million total views. Like, what's it like to be Poké Daxi on like a regular day, like just walking around Canada or just anywhere? Like, what can you be a regular person? Like, you know,
that's a good question. Yeah, no, like honestly, like life, I think regular life is normal. Like I'm a very normal person. And yeah, being in Canada and stuff, like walking around, like, no, I don't get recognized on the street. I think it gets extreme when you go to events where there's a lot of Pokemon Go players being combined. You know what I mean? Like in Ottawa, when there's an event, you know, and I go to the local park and, you know, it's raid day, blah, 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 there's a bunch of gyms, then I'll get recognized because that's where the Pokemon Go players are. But the odds of me, like I barely ever really get stopped. I think I've only been like in the last year, I've only been like stopped once randomly. Like I was at a sushi restaurant. Someone said, oh my God, you're Poké Daxi, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, no, life is normal, to be honest. I think there's different levels of, you know, how like 500,000 subscribers is a lot of subscribers. But if you compare that to the amount of people in the world, like the odds of me running into people who watch my videos is pretty low. But it gets pretty insane, like you said, at events, especially when there's, you know, like New York City Go Fest, when everybody there plays Pokemon Go. And especially because majority of my audience, 45%, is from the States. There's like a high chance I run into people. So that is really insane. And I think I love it. And I love to meet the people. And I always remember, like, you know, these people are the people who support me. So I, you know, this is my people. I want to meet them. But I will say there also is a balance of like, you are a regular human and you do have a social battery. And I think my social battery, I've kind of trained it to be higher than it normally is. But after a while, you know, day 3 of GoFest, it can get a little, you know, overwhelming, you know, because, you know, I've just gone 2 days meeting people for like, you know, like every, you know, 10 minutes or so saying hi to someone. And you're just kind of drained. Nonetheless, we push through because at the end of the day, I always remember, like, you know, these people are the people who support me. And also I want to, you know, I want to give them the best version of myself. And although sometimes you're going to be a little bit down, it is a very, you know, I don't really know what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that
I get it.
Sometimes you're socially drained, but you still, you know, you want to, you know, present the best version of yourself and not leave, you know, a sour taste in anyone's mouth, because that's not really me. It's just like, that's just like the tired version of me.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this, even though you were sick on Saturday, you represented well. Like you by far, dude, had the longest line. And, you know, Chris and I were kind of in the back of the line and people were talking about, oh my God, I can't believe I get to meet him. And this is so cool. And I was kind of putting myself in that kind of fan as well, because I watch your channel and it was cool to meet you as well. Even though we're kind of in the same medium and colleagues to a certain extent, it was cool to meet you because like I see you on the screen. And, you know, that kind of brings me to my next question. I'll let Chris jump into a question. How do you distinguish yourself from Zoe and Billy and all the other content creators? Like, how did you come up with your style? How'd you hone it? And how do you keep yourself different than all the other YouTubers?
Yeah, so honestly, this goes back to what I was saying before. When I used to watch like all the YouTubers when I was kind of like sick and just playing Pokemon Go every day, it was more of a fact of I was looking for a certain type of content on YouTube that I didn't find. And that content was content for like, you know, the top player, the person who just wants to be as efficient as possible and just wants to know what's going on, has the base knowledge of Pokemon Go so they can make, you know, their own decisions, but they still need to know the news and want to see that news in video form. And that's pretty much how Pokédex was born. It was like, hey, you know, I'm watching a Mystic 7 video or a Zoe 2 Dots video. And, you know, it's great to see them hunt shinies, catch Pokemon. It's a great thing. You know, they have their own style, but I want to know what the next event is. I want to know what the best catch is for this event. I want to know what is the top tips. So that's pretty much how I was born. It was like I was looking for a certain type of content that I didn't find on YouTube, and that was quick, efficient, to the point types of videos. So that's pretty much how the channel was born, and that's what I started doing. And over time, I think you have to remember, and sometimes I forget, you know, sometimes I sway a little, but you have to remember like why people watch you. And that's why people watch Pokédaxis, because I'm the Pokemon Go tips and tricks guy, and I'm going to give you information quickly. I'm not going to add any extra fluff, blah, blah, blah. Granted, sometimes, you know, again, you sway and I end up adding extra fluff. But that's like the core of the channel. And I always try to remember and go back to that. Like, that's why I do it. And that's how I separate myself, because at the end of the day, there's no like content. It's such a subjective thing. There's no right or wrong. There's so much different types of content. You know, trainer like Nick, he makes more chill, slow vibes, and that has it. Like, people will watch that while they're making dinner, eating dinner. My stuff probably more for like, you know, someone's about to go out and play Pokemon Go. They have 10 minutes. They're going to watch the video about the event so they can get a little bit of education. Every YouTuber has its own, you know, pros and cons. I don't even know if there's cons. It's just so subjective, and there's different reasons people watch each thing. And that's kind of like my thing is quick and efficient. And that's my lane. And that's why I try to stay in it.
Yeah, everyone's kind of fallen into their niche, and it takes a while to kind of figure out where your lane is. But once you do, then it's kind of, that's your job, and you kind of, there you go. Like we've figured out the YouTube thing pretty solidly, I think, in the last year. But the first, looking back at kind of our content at the beginning, it was like, ooh, that's right.
It's always tough to find exactly like what your niche is. And I think like obviously the number one thing is to follow like what's working and like what is you know working for you. But like, you know, don't be scared if anyone's listening to this and trying to start YouTube. Like, don't be scared to try different things. Have a little bit more of a messy YouTube channel to start with, all different types of videos, and then you know you'll figure it out over time. And also, like, again, at the end of the day, like there's only so much content you can really make about Pokemon Go. So really focus on your format, in my opinion, and how you deliver the news. It's less about like, you know, just because I cover an event doesn't mean like I see a lot of YouTubers be like, I'm not going to start an event-based YouTube channel because all the other big YouTubers are starting an event or are covering the event. So I'm not going to get views. Like, don't think that way. Think like, what is your format and what makes you unique and how you deliver the content. Like, you know, like, I don't know, make an animated video about the new event or something like that. Like, you know, like there's all sorts of formats you can follow. And that's what's going to kind of separate you.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, some of the biggest advice that I've ever heard is, you know, if you're looking back at your original videos, you need to be growing, right? You need to be getting better. So you're going to look back at those first couple of videos and go, oh, wow, that was terrible, right? But that's just a sign that you've grown as a content creator, right? Yeah,
your video, you're like, I always look at it like each video is training for the next video. Like, even if this video is not perfect, just put it out. You'll know next time. And then over time, you're going to see the growth. And like that, it's honestly, like you say, it's a good sign if you look back and be like, this was trash. I look back at my old videos. The funniest thing I found about my old videos is I did not know how to do audio levels. And if you listen to those videos, my microphone is like the same volume as a music track playing. Like, I don't even know how people hear what I'm saying. It's crazy.
How do you keep up with the latest trends in the Pokemon Go content?
So like, I think it's very interesting. I think back in the day, I used to be more into the trends, into like what's going on. Like right now, you know, everybody's talking about mouse hold and, you know, the 1 in 100 chance of blah, blah, blah getting and I think that is definitely a content strategy to follow, is trend following. But I think over time, I've slowly stopped to follow trends, because I think it's much more important to make videos that are, you know, if you ever heard the term evergreen, and videos that can be watched anytime, any place. Like my Wayfarer videos, for example. Granted, some of them are a little bit out of date, but you know, you can go click that and you'll get some information out of that versus a trend, which is like something that, you know, will be cool for like 2 weeks or something like that. But then it's like, you know, it's like I almost think of like events like trends, you know, like the current event is a trend because people are going to be super interested in right now. But then, you know, once the event's over, no one's watching my, I don't know, water festival 2022 tips and tricks video. Like that video gets no views anymore because it's, so I think now I focus more on making evergreen videos and videos that can be watched anytime. In terms of like keeping up with trends, you can, but it's I think it's good. I think, pardon me, it's good when you're growing to follow trends because you can get a lot of, you know, attention and people who are interested in this stuff because it's like, you know, a cool new thing. But the problem with trends is I think they can really, really take a toll on your mental power because you always have to be scrolling Twitter, know what's up. And then when something drops, you know, like a new thing drops or you got to be on it. So like, no matter what you're doing in your life, it's really hard to have life balance. You got to drop it. You got to just, I got to go out and play this event and check this out and make a video and drop it and be the first one. And that's the thing with trends as well is like, I'm thinking more like events, but like if you're not the first one, like it's going to be tougher because everyone like, you know, if there's a new event drops and you're not the first one to drop the info, people most likely have watched somebody else's video. There's no point in watching. Like I know there's some people who are super fans who will watch an event video, but it's like if you already know the info, why are you going to watch the event? Like you're not going to read the news twice, pretty much. So,
and that's where Zoe has the advantage because she plays it before everybody.
Yeah. There's a huge advantage. There's advantage. It's funny. I talked to Zoe. Me and Zoe had an interview in New York, and there's an advantage, but there's also, you know, the disadvantage of the events never working. She was telling me
it's broken.
There's like a website with like there's been 150 times where the event's been broken in Australia before it hits the other places. It's insane.
Wow. That's crazy. So you talked about Wayfarer. That you kind of segued perfectly into this. So let's talk about Wayfarer a little bit. So you've done 9 or 10 videos, I think, on YouTube about Wayfarer. So not expecting you to be the expert on Wayfarer, but tell us a little bit about what you know about it and what was the main motivation for you to make those 9 or 10 videos that got over 1 million views. I'll tell you, the Wayfarer community loves you.
Yeah. Honestly, it's funny. I don't even really know. I think it all started with me just, again, trying to make those evergreen videos and trying to cover every possible part of Pokemon Go to make you the best possible player. I think a lot of it came from comments in my comment section, especially in the early days where people were like, I have no Pokestops in my area. I have no local community. And I always look for solutions, you know, like at the end of the day, you can sit there and be like, I have nothing. I'm the victim. You know, it's the end of the world for me. But I always try to look for solutions. So I was like, you know, how can I improve this? How can I help these people who don't have this? And that's pretty much where it came from. I was like, you know what? Let me make a video on how to make Pokestops. Now, at the time, I was like, I knew nothing. I think I had talked to a couple people who were like into Wayfarer. So I messaged them and said, hey, I'm looking to make this video because I always want to make sure my videos, like most of those Wayfarer videos, the information, it does not come from me. It is mainly all done from the Wayfarer community, the people who I've talked to in there. They almost like help me like fully script the video. It's insane. So like I can't really I'm just the speaker. I'm just the person who kind of just, you know, presents the information. But I talked to, there's like the Wayfarer podcast, or not podcast, Discord. I hopped in there and I got a bunch of education on how Pokestops work and S2 cells and gyms and thresholds and you know when they come to the game. And so pretty much got all that information, made a video. We it's funny because I did the video, I shot it, and then like I would send them a rough cut and be like, guys, if there's anything I'm saying that's just complete BS, like tell me, because I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to be spreading misinfo. So pretty much did that and got the script back, dropped the video, and it's done huge success. And then from there, it's just like more and more, I'm not saying problems came up, but more and more developed. Like, you know, once I made that video, people were like, okay, well now my Pokestops are taking forever to come through. So then I learned about reviewing and how, you know, I made a video about reviewing and how to go through reviews. And then I made a whole video about, you know, when you're a reviewer, well, what's a good review? What's a bad review? What should you be, you know, giving these people? And, you know, over time, it just kind of expanded into like learning more about the community and just like more questions. So I made more videos to answer those questions as good as I could. And then
which was awesome.
Yeah. Well, that was the point. Like, and again, it's honestly all thanks to to the people in the Wayfarer Discord, because like, yeah, I couldn't.
And I watched that video last night, and I looked at the people you credited, and you reached out to the right people. They were the people that you should have reached out to. That would have led you in the right direction.
They were experts.
I've got two questions, and I'm going to turn it over to Chris real quick. So, I want to know. I know you're traveling all over. You're doing things. Do you get a chance to nominate? Have you had a chance to nominate things while you've been in other parts of the world? And if you have, what's been one of the favorite nominations that you've made?
I'm not gonna lie, I've been slacking. I've been slacking on the Wayfarer. I have not really been. I think ever since like, I don't know if it's just like I'm a too busy kind of guy, but I think the last like year and a half, my motivation for Pokemon Go, like just naturally just playing the game, has gone down a bit. So I haven't really found myself in situations where I can nominate. Granted, there's been situations where I'm like, that would make a good nomination. And I think one thing with me in my local area specifically, and I don't know if it's because I'm planning on making another video, but when I see, this is just like a YouTuber mentality. When I see something I could nominate, instead of just going and nominating it, I'm like, you know what? That's going to be a perfect nomination as an example for a video.
Use it for content.
Use it for content. That's pretty much where my brain goes all the time. So I haven't really nominated anything because mainly I want to keep those nominations to be able to make videos and kind of use them as examples. And again, I haven't found the content or the time to shoot that video. So no, I haven't really nominated anything. And I've never nominated anything abroad either. That'd be interesting to do though.
That's the inner content creator in you. So Chris and I have a channel just for he and I that sometimes we don't post things on Discord and we don't post it on the Wayfarer forum. We're like, this is content, baby. We're going to save this for the show. We'll post it somewhere else later, but this is content.
Exactly.
So I'm guessing the answer to this question is going to be similar. You probably haven't had a lot of chance to review things. I know you did some reviews when you made that video, but probably not a lot of time to do reviews recently.
I used to go ham on the reviews. I remember I used to literally have on my schedule every day, because I think this is the best way to do it, is 30 minutes a day or 50 minutes. If that's all you can do, review for 15 minutes a day. And then over time, you're just going to stack up the reviews. You're going to stack up the upgrades and everything. I mean, I used to do that. Now, again, don't really have time to do that. And again, I would only probably do it for content. But yeah, no, I haven't really done a lot of reviewing. But yeah, back in the day, I think it's just like a general, I've just been playing Pokemon Go less. I've just been more focused on content and trying to make the best videos possible versus like, going out and I, like I remember I used to like go out and send all my gifts. I'm not going to lie, if you're on my friends list, you probably haven't gotten a gift in a while because I just don't send gifts anymore. And it's not to say I don't love Pokemon Go. I just haven't been as interested in the events and the games and the direction they're taking the game.
Gotcha.
That seems to be kind of a growing trend.
Yeah, it's a general
feeling at this point.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the Wayfarer discussion Discord, and I got to tell you, I don't know if you've been in there recently, but every time someone brings up, "Oh, is there a good video?" everyone's just like jumping all over mentioning.
I've seen it. Yeah, I know. I've seen it.
Huge fans in that Discord. I would be remiss if I didn't say that they've changed the reviewing UI since you last did a video.
They probably have. It's been a long time.
Oh, it's completely different. It's completely different. We did a whole show on it, about how I thought it was gonna look.
Yeah.
And I pulled up a mock-up, and it was I was almost exactly right. So people were just like, "Did you know?" And I was like, "No, I had no idea."
Random guess.
If you have a point at some point, I told them I would mention this to you. The reviewing UI has changed, and they would appreciate it if you did a new video on it.
I'm going to mark these down right now to redo these videos because I feel like I always forget if I don't. But
I want to play this, Daxi. I want to play this. This comes from Old Dirty Bard, who's in the Wayfarer discussion Discord. He's also in the Pokemon Professor Network Discord. He and I talked. We missed each other like 3 times at GoFest, so we didn't get a chance to connect. But I told him that I'd play this message for you, so let me play this right now.
Okay, do it.
Hey, Poké Daxi, my name's Old Dirty Bar, and I just wanted to thank you for putting out your original Wayfaring guide. It helped me change the landscape of my local community by providing more Pokestops and more gyms.
Let's go.
It's a long time since that video came out, and so much has changed. Would you be willing to put out an updated video in that series to help launch the next generation of Wayfarers? Thanks a lot, and have a great day.
Dude, sick. Yeah, no, 100%. Again, like these videos are evergreen videos, but as things change, I need to update them. So I just literally just wrote down, we'll update both those videos. Because I also have been getting pinged. I don't know if it was in Discord or Twitter or anywhere, but people are just like, yeah, like, because it changes. I don't know how often stuff change, but like it does change a little bit, and I definitely need to update that because that video was dropped. The review video I think was dropped in like 2021. It was like early on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of consternation and change in the Wayfarer community. The Wayfarer community is so funny. It's similar to the Pogo community, but different at the same time because there's a lot of overlap.
Yeah.
But people in the Wayfarer community, myself and Chris included, we like to think of ourselves as a little bit of a higher brow than just the average Pokemon trainer. Not that we're better, but we kind of understand.
You got the skills.
We have the backdoor mechanics that kind of tell you a little bit about what's going on. So last question before we go on to the second part of the episode. Describe fun to Daxi. So you talked about the overall joy of Pokemon has kind of gone down and kind of ebbs and flows. So what's a perfect day for you? What's a perfect fun day for Daxi?
Are we talking in Pokemon Go or just general?
Just in general Daxi land.
That's great. Honestly, I think number one, and I think this is something I've realized like over time, is growing up with siblings and growing up with I've 3 other siblings, and obviously Pokemama and my dad did a lot of like I was just always with people. So for me, like a fun day is just having a lot of people around and stuff like that, and doing activities, hang out with friends. Like that's really like where I get the most joy. And I don't think, if you're asking about the perfect day, for me, it doesn't matter what I do. It's more about like who you're with and the people you're with. So like if I'm with my best friend, all that stuff, like, we could be skiing, we could be going on a walk in the park, we could be, I don't know, at the beach, blah, blah, blah. It would honestly just like, that's just kind of like how I am. I don't know if I'm just a very extroverted person. So that's kind of like fun for me. I think if we're talking, a fun day, there'll definitely be some Pokemon Go in there. I think for fun, if we want to talk about for fun in Pokemon Go, I find I'm very into like, people know this, but like I'm into top meta. I'm into the best possible thing. So for me to have fun in Pokemon Go, I need to feel like I'm getting something really good. Like I had a lot of fun on day 2 of the global Go Fest because the Necrozmas are in raids, and those things are a beast, and there's like no cap and you can grind them out. So I have a lot of fun like doing that, like grinds for like really, really strong Pokemon. Team Go Rocket events I love because you have all the shadow Pokemon, which are like some of the best in the game. I don't know. At the end of the day, for fun for me is just hang out with people. Yeah. I don't know if it's a basic answer, but it is what it is.
No, that's awesome. And I think Go Fest in New York City, like Chris and I kind of said the same thing. Like it was fun to catch Pokemon, but like I get to see Chris maybe 2-3 times a year at the most. And it was just cool hanging out with my buddy. We're walking around New York City, just chatting. Chris and I are both dads, and we have a lot of things in common. And we were hanging out with people from our Discord, and there was a house in Harlem with like 9, 10, 11 people in it from our Discord of people we chat with all the time. So it was cool just hanging out with the fellas and the ladies. And so that was it.
Sick.
Right on. All right. So let's go on to topic number 2.
Hi, it's Low Pound Cake. Don't forget about topic number 2.
All right. So topic number 2, we just want to have kind of a discussion. So we want to get your kind of overall thoughts on Wayfarer. So we had a question come in from friend of the show, Aquablast64. And their question was, last year, Niantic Wayfarer introduced the abuse ladder to punish people who abuse the Wayfarer system. This was met with an outrage from some of the Pokemon Go players and turned off some casual Wayfarers. As a content creator for Pokemon Go, who has created some Wayfarer-related videos in the past, did any of that backlash affect you?
To be honest, no. I think the Wayfarer stuff for me, especially like, I'm in the way, like, I understand kind of how the whole thing works, but my channel is much more, I think, surface level on the Wayfarer side of things. The questions I will get and the comments I will get, and I guess you could say the backlash I will get, is all surface level Wayfarer stuff. So it's like how to nominate Pokestops. My Pokestop's not going through. How do I get a gym? So it's like people asking very bare bones, basic Wayfarer stuff. And people just don't really understand like that more, in depth, the abuse system, the appeal system, all that stuff. That's a little more complicated. And I have covered those things, but it's like, I think it's just like my channel is I'm not trying to say surface level, but it's like mainly about Pokemon Go. So when it comes to Wayfarer and stuff, like if you want to get too deep in it, people are just not going to be like as interested, or at least my community won't be as interested. So no, I haven't really felt any of that backlash. I honestly don't even really know what what changed, because I haven't really been in it that much. I know I got flagged, I think, for abuse once because I like made a Pokestop on. It was a school that had been closed or something like that, and then like the Pokestop went through, and then like it got removed by manual review later or something like that, and my account got flagged or something. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, no backlash.
So you said that didn't really affect you. It's kind of surface level. I think the Wayfarer community is kind of looking for that YouTuber to kind of adopt them.
Yeah.
And kind of, take the mantle and run with it. Chris and I do our podcasts and we simulcast on YouTube, but we're not like hardcore YouTubers. And I think people have gravitated to you because you've shown interest in it.
Yeah.
And you are fairly knowledgeable in it. Even if that knowledge is coming from people in the WDD, you do a very good job of putting forth the face that you know what you're talking about. So you probably get a lot of questions in your comments like, hey, what about this? And what about this? I know from talking to other YouTubers, it kind of comes down to, unfortunately, it comes down to clicks. Yeah. And some things get clicks and some things don't. And in the overall scheme of things, is it worth it to you or other YouTubers? You can kind of speak in a broad term to kind of focus in on a niche element. It's kind of why we don't have a lot of Ingress YouTubers, because the clicks aren't there.
Yeah. I think it's always interesting when people say it comes down to clicks. It does come down to clicks. I think there is an aspect of, I always think about this on YouTube, but there's an aspect of, it's kind of up to you to make a topic interesting, if that makes sense. Like anything could be interesting. Anything can get clicks if you format it and correctly present it, if that makes sense. So I think it's a lot about that when it comes to clicks, but there is an aspect to a point of like, Wayfarer at the end of the day, especially the more deep stuff. I think Pokestop like nominations, everybody understands that. Everybody wants Pokestop so they can spin, and make gyms so they can raid and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, the more deep level stuff, I think that's why there hasn't been a lot of YouTubers who have like adopted it, is mainly, because it just doesn't get as much clicks. And also I think it's about culture and community as well. Like people build their YouTube channels to a certain, viewership and a certain community. And if that community is not interested, like, my community is Pokemon Go. If I dropped a video about the Pokemon main series games, there would be interest in it, but it would be much, much less, because the people who watch my videos, they know me as the tips and tricks guy, the guides guy. And I think, so that's why I think naturally, like, making videos like that for me is a little bit easier than the other YouTubers, because I've kind of created that community of like, people who watch my videos just want to get better at Pokemon Go. And, if learning about the abuse system, learning about how to make Pokestops, learning about, I don't know, you guys can chime in, anything Wayfarer related, that will help them towards their, getting better at Pokemon Go or growing their area so they can spin more stuff.
Well, I'll tell you this. We had a conversation with Niantic when we were in New York the day before we saw you on the Friday. So, we sat down with them for about 45 minutes to an hour, and they had some questions for us. We had some questions with them, and we're developing a nice working relationship with Niantic, and it was kind of nice, kind of like you said, to be recognized, not in an official capacity. It was kind of an unofficial, but we had a nice, meeting with them, and then also we have a pretty good relationship with most of the Wayfarer ambassadors. And, through them, they all speak very highly of you. And, one of the quotes from one of the Wayfarer ambassadors was, "Oh, you're talking to Daxi. He's the best for Wayfarer." And I think, like I said earlier, everyone is looking for, Wayfarer is kind of the little kid that just wants a little bit of attention. And you've shown the community a little bit of attention. And so they've kind of gravitated to it. So I'm glad that you'll explore kind of doing some of that for content. 100%. And we would love to see, like, if you did a video where you took like kind of a barren area and then just kind of jazzed it up, and then go back and do a Pokemon Go video about now there's people playing here in this park where there was nobody before, and something along those lines.
Yeah, that's been a video idea that I've been working on for a little bit. It's kind of gotten a bit halted, but definitely something I want to do is go to a town, try to pimp it out, get it better, and then come back and see how it changes. Because at the end of that's like why people do the Wayfarer stuff. There's actually speaking of New York and stuff, was there a Wayfarer tent at New York?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I remember in Madrid, actually, I visited the Wayfarer tent. It was actually really cool, and there was a lot of cool people there to talk to. So, shout out Wayfarer.
Yeah, we hung out at the Wayfarer tent on Friday. Like I think both landed Friday morning, and then by Friday afternoon, we were up there talking to the tent team. And then Saturday we went back, and then we didn't go back on Sunday, but It's pretty cool. They usually put all of the generic Niantic stuff with the Wayfarer tent. The campfire team's usually there, but they weren't there this year.
Oh, okay.
And I've got a theory on that. But that's for
we have
another
theories
time.
on
Yeah.
that, but we won't share it.
Empire team, their plane didn't make it.
All right. Well, Daxi, we're going to give you a chance here in a minute to kind of go through all of your socials and everything. And we've got a nice little graphic that we're going to put in our show notes. And when we tweet this out, we're going to make sure all of the Wayspotters and the Wayfarers, and we're going to put in the Wayfarer discussion Discord on Twitter, Reddit, everywhere. We're going to put it out there so people can hear it. But first, what we want to do is when we do Jamal shows, we always try to do something a little bit fun.
Okay. I like fun.
What we're gonna do now is we're gonna bring up. We always do a one's gotta go.
Oh God.
Right.
One's gotta go.
What we did last time, I probably should have saved it. We did one's gotta go starter edition last time. So we had Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, and then Pikachu, and then Chris had to pick which one had to go. And he stirred up a lot of controversy with that. So I didn't want to do anything controversial, but one's got to go cereal edition. So this is how it works. Out of these four, so in the upper left-hand corner, for people who are not watching this on YouTube, is Fruit Loops. And the upper right-hand corner is Lucky Charms. The bottom left-hand corner is Frosted Flakes. And the bottom right-hand corner is Apple Jacks. So we'll give you a second to think about it. You've got to pick one that has to go forever. And then you got to tell us.
Forever. Okay, look.
Forever.
Look, so there might be a little bit. So I've actually never had Apple Jacks. I don't think we have those in Canada, do we?
I don't believe that we do. No.
So yeah, I've never had Apple Jacks, but you know what? I'm not gonna let that influence my decision because I think that makes a little bias. So I'm gonna go based off the three that I have had in terms of one's got to go. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Lucky Charms are great, but I think they're a little bit overrated. Personally, I would like them to just be the marshmallows. You know, I don't really. Just marshmallows. Come on, like no one likes the other part of Lucky Charms. Fruit Loops are good. Frosted Flakes, I think, are goated. That's probably my favorite out of all these three. So yeah, I'm probably gonna, might start us some controversy, but we're gonna say goodbye to Lucky Charms. Hopefully Apple Jacks. Maybe I gotta try them. Maybe they taste good, and I'm gonna or they taste bad. I'm gonna regret my decision.
To message us back. All right, Chris, that's a little controversial because that's kind of a fan favorite. Yeah. But are you going to go down the same path with just those three since you haven't had Apple Jacks?
So I have spent some time living in the US, so I have had Apple Jacks, and 100% absolutely that's the one that's got to go. It's not.
Oh no, I regret.
It's not good. It's not good. If I were to pick a number two, funny enough, it would be Frosted Flakes. I'm not a big fan of the
Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, not a big fan of the Frosted Flakes.
Dude, honestly, they all got to go. They have way too much sugar. All these.
Dude. You know,
I have a massive sweet tooth, so like Lucky Charms is like the top one for me. I love that stuff.
The older I get, the less sweet things I want. When I was a kid, Fruit Loops was like the best. It was the GOAT. But now for me, the one that's got to go for me is Frosted Flakes, and I'll tell you why. It's the reason why I don't eat like Cocoa Puffs or any of that. Frosted Flakes turns the milk. It gives it like a film on it. You know what I mean? Like the milk turns shiny. Yeah. And I don't like that. Like I don't like things that turn the milk colors. Like I can't eat any kind of chocolate cereal because it makes the milk brown and it's just
Fruit
weird
Loops
to
makes
me.
it pretty colorful too.
But the bright neon colors are okay. But when it's got like when you eat Frosted Flakes at the end and there's milk left, it kind of looks like a toxic kind of radioactive kind of sheen to it, if you know what I mean.
The bright neon colors don't look toxic to you.
Well, maybe because by the time I'm done eating Fruit Loops, I just eat it all up and I'm like,
he doesn't have time to even think about it.
That's right. But Frosted Flakes would be my one's got to go.
Fair enough.
Doesn't have time to taint the water. It's going.
Yeah, exactly. Right on. All right. So before we go to break, when we were in New York, Daxi, we kind of put out a challenge to all of the people in our Discord to go out in New York and find things to nominate. And Chris, did we end up with like 47, 48, or was the number bigger than that of people?
It was over 80.
It was over 80. Yeah.
47.
Nice.
That's right. Oh, from Space Central. Yeah. So Dax, so from our group that we kind of talked to, there was over 80 nominations in New York City. So think about how crazy New York City was. Yeah. People found 80 nominations that hadn't been nominated in New York City. So I found a couple, and I got heat for the one that I nominated because they hated the picture, absolutely hated the picture. So we got a voicemail from one of the Wayfarer ambassadors, friend of the show, Sarah Amanda, who's been on our show. So she sent me this voicemail, and I wanted to play it. So you can listen to this, and you can tell me what you think.
Hey, Wayspotters, it is Sarah Amanda here. So, Jamal, I can't believe you went on about that Wayspot mural that we were standing together. So I was standing there. I was right next to you. And so if I knew you were going to take such a tilted, uncentered photo, then gosh darn it, I would have just submitted it. Then at least my photo would have been duped to yours, and then I could have just thumbed it up. It would have been easy. Okay. And then the next thing is, you know what, Jamal? You said, if only we could edit the photo later in the contributions manager. Well, you know what? Even if you could, you were busy in New York. I mean, everybody was busy in New York. You wouldn't have had time to do it. It would have just gone through, and you wouldn't have edited the photo. So don't say that as if it has any relevancy to your photo. Okay. That's all. Peace. Sarah Amanda.
When I said I was getting roasted, I've been getting roasted all week.
You need to
roasted.
Yeah, they're gonna get
the greatest voicemail we've ever played on the show.
They're gonna get you like photography lessons. They're gonna sign you.
Oh
up.
yeah, for sure, dude. It was hot. My screen was damn near black.
Yeah, I understand.
It was like overheating. It was a mess. Anyway, so Dax, we're gonna go to break. When we come back, we've got a couple things. We're gonna go over some waste spot of the week, coal of the week. So we're gonna take a little break here. And guys, we will see you on the other side.
Are you serious? This again? It's season 3.
Some people pick their nose. I was born with mine. I ate a clock yesterday. It was very time consuming. Why do people who live in Greece hate waking up at dawn? Because dawn is very tough on Greece. What do you call it when a snowman throws a tantrum? A meltdown. One bird can't make a pun, but 2 can. Hey, I used to run a dating service for chickens, but I was really struggling making hens meet. Did you hear that rumor about the butter? Well, I'm not gonna spread it. All right, everybody, welcome back to episode number 131 of the Wayspotters podcast. I'm Blame Jamal, that's Chris, and we're here with our special guest, Poké Daxi.
Hello.
Daxi, hopefully you had a good break and you enjoyed the dad jokes that we played. We're going to go on to the back half of the show, and I think you'll really enjoy this. So we are going to go into the waste spot of the week.
This is Sarah Amanda, and here's some Wayspotters approved points of interest.
All right. So waste spot of the week number 1 comes from me. Well, it comes from me, but by way of Sea Princess. It's kind of a long story. Sea Princess saw this mural in Charlotte and sent me a message and said, hey, go nominate this. And I was like, okay, easy. So it's at a brewery in Charlotte, in kind of the south end of Charlotte, which is kind of like the real hipster area. So there was like all these people in like Lululemon and like Crocs and cheap tank tops, and I had to get them to move their dogs and everything out of the way. So I took the picture. So this picture is it's celebrate any day of the week at Monday Night Brewing. So the place, so it's called Monday Night Brewing Mural. And this mural was created by the talented Thomas Turner. So if you look at it, so if you're not watching this on YouTube, you should be watching this on YouTube. Go to our YouTube channel. We'll tell you how later. But if you look at this mural, so it's like a bald eagle on the left. So it's like a white and green background with like vines and stems, and there's a bald eagle on the left, there's mushrooms on the left, and then there's like this big grizzly bear, and he's got these like white daisy with yellow eyes and big teeth, and he's like chomping on the moon, and inside the moon is a wolf. So there's a whole lot going on there.
Is that a ladybug under the eagle?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is a ladybug under the eagle. So there's a lot going on there. So this was a way that this artist jazzed up. This is just literally a white fence that like behind it is like the industrial, like the air conditioner and the garbage. So they just painted over a white fence and made it really kind of an area that you'd like to kind of hang out in front of. And so you saw people over there taking selfies, putting them on Instagram or whatever the kids do these days. So it's really cool. So I thought that would be a good Waste Spot of the week.
It's very nice.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's fantastic.
I could not do anything like that.
I couldn't either.
I can't even draw a stick person.
So in keeping with tradition, let's go to Waste Spot of the week number 2.
Hey, it's Low Pound Cake. The Wayspotters think you should be nominating more stuff like this.
Chris, this is all you, my guy.
Oh, so this is thanks, Jamal. That's fantastic. This is a sculpture of, it looks like a someone's face, like a face, and there are 3 hands coming up from the ground that are holding the face up. There's a glass roof over the top of it that's kind of arched that looks really cool. It's a really, really interesting sculpture. It looks like it might be in a mall. I can't tell because the description's in German. So I'm going to go ahead and the title is Immaterialis. The description is 2024 Erscheid Sculptor des Künstlers Andreas Schmeiten Alastel das Project Station to Station der DB das Verschut dein Reichten an Bahnhofen durch Kunst und Musik zum viralen Einzelnen der über 5 Meter hohe Sculpture aus Lagertime Aluminum, that's made of aluminum, steigt inmitten des Bahnhofs des Frankfurter Flughafens mit täglich 33 Reisgeist täglich der Gruppe. Oh, that's a long word. Flughafenbahnhof Deutschlandens. I think that means Germany.
Perfect.
Oh,
nailed it.
I like how you were like speaking German and then you go aluminum right in the middle.
I recognize that word.
Straight up English word right in the middle of it.
The best part about this, so this comes to us from one of the Wayfarer ambassadors, Bread. But we have a friend of the show in Germany, Kroner, who will listen to the show and then he'll send us a voice message and he'll read it in the way it's supposed to be read in German, and then he'll translate it, and then we'll play it on a later show, and then all the people in the German Wayfarer all kind of have a good giggle at Chris's expense because I think his German is getting better, Daxi, to be honest with you.
Actually,
since
for
we
a
started
second,
doing
I thought
this,
you were
it's getting
German.
better.
I thought you were German for a second.
You say it's getting better, but last time I did this, Groner was like, I recognized one word. It's like, yes, I nailed one of them.
All right, Daxi. So we have a bonus Waste Spot,
Let's
and
do
this
it.
one is going to be for you to describe. So let me do this here real quick.
Okay. So we got.
Let's take a look at a beautiful example of what the Wayspotters podcast thinks you should be nominating. We proudly present the Waste Spot of the Week.
This is something. We got some crazy colors going on here. We got the Panda Dragon mural. Very nice picture. It is a dragon, I guess you could say. Actually, I don't think it's a real dragon. It's one of those what are those even called? Like when they have the stick, like a dragon.
Yeah, they have the stick and the person dances underneath.
They have it in Kung Fu Panda, right? Like, isn't it a whole scene? And he like, beats people up in the It's a dragon on sticks with there's 4 people there, 3 of them wearing blue. If you want to get specific, one of them wearing an orange color. Actually, this person's doing something completely different. Anyway, they're holding up the dragon. We got a nice arch, a nice gate, a nice, I don't know if it's a shrine or exactly what the word is for it. Behind, with some very beautiful Japanese lanterns as well. And then also there's someone on the right who almost looks like you guys know Avatar. It looks like what's the girl from Avatar? Katara from Avatar. Kind of holding up is that a panda? I think it's a panda. Anyway, very beautiful mural. Very beautiful. Again, I could not do I would probably die before I could do this. The description is stylized mural showing a panda and a gang of humans parading with a traditional, it's Chinese, my bad, Chinese dragon, ethnic artwork that adds to the ambience of location. Yeah, very beautiful. Anyway.
Nice. That's awesome. Thanks, Dax. And that comes to
Very
us
cool.
from friend of the show and Wayfarer ambassador, Elf from Space. So that's very, very good. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. You've been such a good sport today. Very good sport. We've got one more thing, Dax, before we cut you loose and we get everybody out to their day. We're going to do what has become one of our most favorite segments and most popular segments, Call of the Week.
Ooh.
I've been working on the Wayfarer all the long day. I've been working on the Wayfarer just to pass the... Uh-oh. Oh, no. Hey, Jamal, I found some coal.
All right. So Call of the Week this week comes to us from Aquablast 64. All right, Chris, you want to pull it up?
I love that.
This is a good one. I think you guys will dig this one. So Call of the Week comes to us from Aquablast 64, and I brought up the entire screen from Wayfarer. So what you guys are looking at, like I said, if you're not watching on YouTube, the title of it is Metal Peacock, and the description is Peacock Art. All right. So on the surface, that sounds like, okay, it may be good. Now, before I go over the picture, the photo, I want to just divert everybody's attention to the map. So the thing that you'll notice on the map is this is clearly square in the middle of a neighborhood. So this is in Park Ridge, Illinois, suburban Illinois. I don't know how far from Chicago it is. Somebody will tell me. But from the map and the pin, you can clearly see this is in someone's yard. Like this is not an eligible nomination. So let's get to the photo. It is a picture of a metal peacock, but it's one of those metal peacocks that you kind of stick in the ground and the feathers is probably like a weather vane or it spins around.
Yeah.
It is very temporary, something that I could come and pick up and move and take somewhere else, and then the waste spot's gone. So as you guys all know, if it's temporary and you can move it, it's not an eligible waste spot. But what it is it's a chance for someone who's trying to get a stop at their house.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So this is something that you don't want to do, and that's why it's Call of the Week. Dax, what do you think about this?
It's the man tried. The man tried. That's all I'll say. That honestly it looks like is that even a peacock? I'm trying to ask myself. It looks like just a bunch of sticks coming out of a thing.
I give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. So anyway, putting things on your yard and stuff, trying to nominate, it's just not gonna work. And the map will tell you, once you see a bunch of square roads like that in a suburban area, you know that most likely it's a no-go.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, Dax, I want to thank you so much for joining us here today. It was a lot of fun. I want to tell all of our viewers and listeners where they can find your content. We're going to put all the links in our show notes and on our socials. As we said earlier, you are the one and only YouTuber to do Wayfarer content, and we really appreciate it. So, Dax, we want to give the next little bit of time to you to kind of go over your TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Discord, YouTube, or whatever else there is out there. Take it away.
Cool. Yeah, honestly, very simple. I keep it simple. Poké Daxi for everything. At Poké Daxi on Twitter, on YouTube, because I have handles now. Instagram. Check me out. We do graphics, raid guides, graphics, event graphics on Instagram and Twitter. Twitter, I also just drop random thoughts. YouTube, obviously, where all the tips videos and you can find all the guides and stuff. And TikTok for some short form stuff if you're looking for more digestible, quick tips. So yeah, check me out at Poké Daxi.
Yep. Check him out. You're now a friend of the show, and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Chris, you got anything else?
I do not. Thank you so much for coming on. It's nice to have somebody with a following of yours do this and do it correctly, and reach out to the right people and ensure that it's nice to hear that you were kind of going back and forth with some people in the Wayfarer Discord, making sure that your content is correct, because it's very easy to put out content that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had some other people put out stuff that we're kind of just like, ooh, we don't want you saying that.
Right? Don't say that.
Ensuring that you're putting out correct content and good content we very, very much appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on, guys.
Yep. All right, so I'll go ahead and close this out. So we can't have an episode of Wayspotters without shouting out our executive producer, KatettheKonz. You rock, as well as all of our other patrons. We really love you and appreciate all the things you do for us. So if you're listening to this episode of the show, and you're enjoying Wayspotters, there's a few things that you can do to show us that you love us and that you help. So the first thing is you can follow us on our Twitter at Wayspotters. We try to be incredibly interactive with our people on Twitter. It's probably our most popular social network. We are also on Instagram at Wayspotters Podcast. You will find shorts. You'll find the dad jokes there, as well as all of the other things that we'll put out. Look for some really cool content coming to our TikTok page soon. Chris and I started to work on some stuff in New York, but it was too hot and our feet hurt and it wouldn't have come off good. So we are working on some additional content that's going to be exclusive to TikTok and Instagram. So look for that over the coming weeks and months. So we try to be incredibly responsive and we love interacting with our listeners. Second, you can reach us on our website, www.wayspotters.com. From there, you can get links to everywhere you can download the show. You can also send us a message directly from the website. You can also send us an email at Wayspotters or wayspotters@pokemonprofessor.com. And you can send us an email at that address. Now, some of you may be watching us on YouTube. And if you're not, this is where you can go and find us, youtube.com/@Wayspotters Podcast. I can't talk today. And we would love for you to go over there and follow us on YouTube. All right, Chris, you always do this right. So give the YouTube thing.
Make sure that you like this video and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified whenever we drop new content.
Let's go.
How was that? Was that good, Dax?
That was great. That's perfect. No, that was perfect. That's perfect.
Right. That's why I let Chris do it. And then if you want to call a U.S. phone number for our American listeners, or anyone wants to call a U.S. phone number, you can leave a voicemail on our hotline, 704-426-3710. And just like the voicemails you heard on the show, you never know, your voice may appear on an upcoming episode of the show, or you can tweet us a voice message directly from X. We call it X now. We used to call it Twitter. Call it X. And finally, if you're not a member of the Pokemon Professor Network Patreon, you can join for as little as $1 US a month. All you need to do is go to www.patreon.com/Pokemon Professor. You'll have access to the Discord for the entire family of shows across the Pokemon Professor Network, including Wayspotters, Special Conditions, Gotta Watch 'Em All, Purified Podcast, Good Morning Johto, and Lured Up. It's a fantastic place filled with fantastic people. Last thing, I need you guys all to do me a favor. I need you, when you're listening right now, if you are listening to this on a podcatcher that allows you to give ratings, I would love for you to go in and give us a rating. 5 stars to me and Chris and Dax are always the best, but I want you to give us what we earned. And if you leave a message, if you go the extra spot and leave a message, written or verbal, we promise we will play it or read it on the show. And with that, we want to thank everybody for listening to episode and watching episode number 131 of the Wayspotters podcast. And I just have one thing to tell you. Just remember, what's a few meters between friends?